Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Life Lessons card of the Guardian. I'm not surprised that this card came up. When thinking about this card when it came up, it's like this week has really been, since we crossed the abyss, an opportunity of looking within. An opportunity to look at the challenges, look at the fears, look at the tribulations that that you're going through, whether it's in a romance, dealing with emotions, creativity, fire energy, all right, stability, materialism, or even that thought process, right? Having some mental hardships, right, with what's going on. But the Seer, the Hooded Man, and the Guardian come up as you're walking on your path. And it's all about that inner reflection. It's all about looking within, okay? And understanding the riddles that the Seer has for you, right? Taking that nurturing guidance, that feminine energy, and using it to, better yourself, within the challenges. She's meditating on that pool. She's looking into the future for you, okay? And, she knows what's ahead for you, but you don't. And that can be scary in its own right. The other thing is the Hooded Man is right on the heels of that Seer. And he's asking you to look within, using that light of hope to, go into those darkest, deepest corners and, look at the fear that you have within, look into that dungeon, all right, and understand what is it that's holding you back, okay? And, a lot of times when I talk about this card, it's you're walking into this cave that's behind him, and he, the Guardian's stopping you, all right? But this time, when I thought about this card and meditated on it, it's almost like you've done the work here with the Seer and the Hooded Man, okay? You've already looked within. And you've experienced that freedom to dance your own dance. You're listening to the universal beat of that Five of Vessels, Ecstasy. So, a lot of times, like I said, we're walking into this cave. I feel this time, you're walking out of the cave. You're really coming up to the back of him, and he's unaware of you. All right? Because you've done the work with the Seer and the Hooded Man and looking within, understanding your dark corners, understanding your worries, your fears. And it's almost like you're going to tap him on the shoulder and just say, hey, dude, I ain't afraid of you. I've already been into my dungeon. I've already been into those fears, and I understand it. And, this Guardian will turn around and challenge you and ask you, do you understand your own darkness? And you can say, yes, I do, because of that Five of Vessels, that ecstasy. You understand it. You understand it so that you're one with the universe. You're one with your spirit guides as you're moving forward. So as you've come out of this cave of the unknown, okay, with no light to show the way, you do have a light. You've got that beacon of hope from the Hooded Man guiding you, okay? And you're protected because the Four of Stones is still down here, okay? So this has been a very enlightening journey over these last 5-6 days since we crossed over the abyss. So here you've got the light. You're coming up from behind the Guardian, and you're following the path that used to fuel those fears, okay? And the Guardian's not feeding off that fear anymore. The Guardian's looking at it going, okay, do you truly understand the path that you're on? Do you truly understand, the fears and why, they were there? And answering him that question is like, yes, I am. It's giving me that wisdom. It's giving me that courage. It's giving me the strength as I'm moving forward. And there's a lot to be gained in confronting those fears without even coming up to the Guardian. There's a lot to be gained in looking within and understanding your own dungeon, understanding the cage that you're in. There's a lot to be gained, okay, to meditate on that practice, to practice that stillness, to understand what Spirit has to tell you, okay? And what you gain in that, in mastering that fear, mastering, you know, the listening and the discernment, is you realize the truth of your dark self. You have a light, you know, a higher self as well as a dark self. And once you understand that truth of both of them, okay, you can begin again on your journey. You can begin anew, all right, with everybody walking by your side, because the guardian's going to be with you here for, you know, the next 7 days. And he's going to be a constant reminder of face that fear. You know, there was a conversation, you know, I had a while ago, and with somebody, you know, a coworker, and it was, they felt trapped within their own circumstance, a circumstance that they didn't put themselves into. It's a circumstance of the organization that they're in, and they felt trapped by that, and they were, you know, they almost had the woe is me. But at the same time, you know, talking with that person, having the conversation with them and showing them the positive aspects of the situation that they're in could help them have a better life further down the road. It's going to take some hard work, you know, maybe a year and a half of constantly working hard and putting your nose to the grindstone. But once you get past that threshold, once you get past that fear, then everything's golden for that person. The other, you know, piece that we were talking about was, you know, what's going on in their life, what's going on with, you know, with their home, what's going on, you know, with that. And that person was kind of telling me that, you know, if without the position that I'm in, that all goes down the drain. But I looked at that person, I said, the positive side of that, okay, if you face that fear, is all the experience you have in your current position throughout the organization. You can take that skill set anywhere, okay, in the world, in the United States, whether it's in Alaska or whether it's in Florida, whether it's Hawaii, whether it's in Maine. There's a skill set that that person has that he can use. And the same thing with, you know, with the gal he's dating, okay? Those skill sets are transferable in any industry, in any part of the United States. It's just a matter of whether you want to face that fear, okay? So, you know, talking with the, you know, most people are, you know, they look at the negative piece of it because they haven't faced their guardian. But if you talk with them and let them know that you can face that guardian with a positive aspect, with that light of hope from what the hooded man is, you just have to look within. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to put that sacrifice in there to get you to where you need to be, to face that fear? And that's really what this card is about. It's not just about facing fears, it's facing that challenge that's ahead of you. Okay, the guardian doesn't want you to face that challenge. The guardian would rather, you know, have you turn around, go back, lay in bed, and just say, woe is me, right? But right now the challenge has arrived. You've snuck up on him, okay? You're showing him that beacon of hope, okay? And with that, there's an opportunity. An opportunity to not only have mastered your fear, but an opportunity to take that to the next level. To take that, you know, hey, I am going to get out of my shell a little bit and I'm going to do this, right? Or I am going to seek advancement opportunities, or I'm going to look for that, you know, steady relationship, you know, get out of what I am. And it's taking that time to take control of those fears, you know, and face the insecurities that go along with it. And when you do that, do it with courage. Do it with honor, all right? Do it with, not entitlement, but empowerment, okay? Because only you can control what you can control. You can only become stronger in that thought process. You can only become stronger in that relationship if you take the steps, you know, and having that courage to move forward. And from that experience and the, you know, the process you go through, you get that wisdom, you get that knowledge, you get that understanding, and that light goes off, and you just say, you know what? I can do this. I can get past all these challenges. I can get past, all these trials. All right. And, as I shown to, having that conversation with, a colleague of mine, it was just a matter of, don't think about the negative, think about the positive. Because when you can think about the positive, then you can face your fears. If you're thinking about the negative, you'll never face your fears. It'll always come back, down there, and you'll be, dang, I wish I would have done that. Dang, I wish I would have done that. And there's going to be regret along the way. All right. And then the next time the opportunity comes up, you're not going to have the wisdom. You're not going to have the knowledge. Instead, what you're going to see is, oh my gosh, this opportunity's here again. I don't know if I can handle it. That's where the guardian's stepping up. But see, I know you better. You're on your higher path. You're on your higher, working towards your higher self. You're not going to let that happen. So continue moving forward. Walk up behind this guy. Tap him on the shoulder. Say hi. Say, you know what? You don't scare me. I'm facing those fears. I've already looked within, and I can see where my future is going. And it's not down this cave. It's past you and out into the beautiful, world that I live in. So that's today's card of the day, the Guardian. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with others. Give me a thumbs up. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And stay safe, everybody.